This is Matt for Into Boxing. Delighted to be joined by Mick Too Slick Conlan.
You bastard. Very good, very good.
Oh, thanks. I thought you'd appreciate that. Look, Mick, thanks for joining us. I know you're back in camp doing a little bit, obviously playing a bit of PlayStation by the look of that headset. News today, devastating news to boxing once again. Bad news. It's come out that Conor Benn has failed a drugs test ahead of his fight with Chris Eubank Jr. I'm sure you've read it. I know, obviously, it's flying around Twitter. Give me your sort of initial reaction to what's gone on today, and do you think this fight should still go ahead?
Horrible. I don't believe, people who dope should even ever have a chance in the sport again. Maybe get a review of what they've done and then someone should delegate it really, but like if you're doping and doping intentionally, you should be banned for life. As you says, boxing always has a way of slapping itself in the face, and if this fight goes ahead, boxing will be slapping itself in the face. Terrible day for the sport. No such. It's a fight actually I didn't really care about, but the closer it got, the more interested I got in it.
Yeah.
And I was really looking forward to it. But now I really couldn't care if it does go ahead. I don't want it to go ahead just for the fact that doping is being involved. And too much people will sit by the side and say nothing.
Well, looking at the situation we're in, when you look at what's happening in the build-up to this fight, we have Chris Eubank Sr., who's, for whatever reason, he had a lot going on personally last year, which no one probably can understand how hard that's been, worried about his son's safety. And then this comes about. And then you've got Chris, who's trying to make the weight, although he's trolling a bit online with the food stuff and playing along. It's a terrible look, isn't it? Like, just it's all round. It's terrible, isn't it?
It is, and then when you take in the consideration, 3 people involved in this fight: Chris Eubank Sr., Chris Eubank Jr., and Nigel Benn, have all been in fights where their opponent's life has been changed forever.
Yeah.
Due to the actual boxing, what's happened in the ring. So the fact that that's happened, and then there's potential of that happening again with someone doping and stuff, it's fucking scary, man. It's scary, and when you think about that, like you see how like people react when that has happened. You see how Chris Eubank is when he sees Michael Watson. He breaks down. You've seen all the little clips of him with crying and stuff, and
horrendous.
I think Nigel Benn was the kind of same with John McLaren, and it's not, you don't want that ever to happen in sport. And I think people who dope, they raise that risk by a lot of percentages.
Yeah.
So the fact that this has been in this kind of fight, which 2 people's lives have been affected, 2 people involved in this fight lives have been affected. 3 people, sorry, Chris Eubank Jr., Nick Blackwell. When you think about that, you go, fucking hell, why? What's the point? Why? You don't know what this is going to do to yourself, not just your opponent. You could fucking kill your opponent, but for yourself and your own mental health and the rest of your life, can you live with yourself all that shit? Knowing you've done this intentionally.
Yeah, I think what's been surprising for me is, I think when Calla went on TalkSport, he said this was a result of a test back end of August, early September. We're now in October. So they've known about this for...
Boxing stinks from the core right to the top. They've known that long. It stinks, mate.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is, in these situations, people always say, where's the B sample? So this
the B sample's the same piss.
So I'm saying,
it's not going to change anything.
Yeah, so I'm saying, but that's not what everyone asks for. Well, let's wait for the B sample to make sure it wasn't, kind of thing. But it's been announced on fight week, so there is no time for a B sample. So it either has to be off or on. And because this VADA and UCAD situation, where apparently this substance is on both anyway, I don't get this at all. Like VADA, I think Eddie said previously, I'm not misquoting him, he has always said that is the sort of the standard bearer is VADA. So for me, it's difficult to look at and go, why would we overlook this? Is this a case of too much money involved? What do you think?
All it is. All it is. Just money. That's the reason it's happening. Money. The reason, the only fight, the only way this fight happens is because of the money. And the money which has been invested in it, one, the money which is going to earn back, two, the money the fighters getting paid, three. I mean, all that combined makes all parties involved want it to go ahead. You know what I mean? So, Hearn will make a lot of money from it. Eddie will make a lot of money from it. Both fighters will make an awful lot of money from it. Career high paydays. They want to fight. They don't really care. Well, I think this will actually affect Junior, Conor Benn more than what it will affect Junior. He doesn't care. He wants to fight. He wants the big dough, and he knows he's going into this fight his favorite. That he knows he's going to win this fight. In my opinion, he's going to stop Conor Benn. Even more so now, I would lump on him. And if the fight goes ahead, I'll still lump on him. But yeah, it's baffling. It's just money, man, and it's sad that that's where we're at.
But you could understand it then from the point of view of Junior saying, I still
Fucking right,
because there's not just forget the money side of it anyway. It's not like he was if roles were reversed, I think there'd be a different outlook. But because Junior's
bigger boy, yep.
naturally bigger, and you've got to think now, when he gets on these scales, is he gonna go, what about the rehydration clause?
Yeah, he will. And Junior's bigger. Also, he's played the villain, so people want to see him fight. People actually want to see him lose. Though that's what happens when you play the villain, is that people want to see you lose.
You think
But
they
now I
do?
don't want to. No, now I don't want to see him win. Nah, some people still want to see him lose, just how he behaves and stuff. He can kind of get under people's skin, and that's what he does. The Eubanks are fantastic at it. For Chris Senior could get under anybody's skin. When he was back in his heyday. Now he's just a lovable rogue, I think. But
Yeah.
with Junior, he knows how to play the villain, and he's played that. People want to see it. People still want to see the fight. I say, listen, when we're saying does people still want to see him lose now, we're talking about people on Twitter. Who the fuck? How much people are really on Twitter really care? They don't care. They just want to see the fight. You know what I mean? I think people's opinions don't really change, and that's the sad thing. Twitter's a fake world, man. You see all this uproar, but people are still going to watch it. People are still going to pay for it. I'm still going to watch it, even though I don't want it to happen. But I don't want it to happen for the safety of myself and other fighters going forward. Because if these rules are changed and chopped and changed for someone, who says it can't be done in the future for someone else? So that's the only reason I don't want it to happen.
I think we're all guilty of it, and it's more the intrigue than anything else. Like, people still want to see this fight, absolutely, but ultimately, boxing gets a bad rep as it is, because of when you look at other fighters that have failed multiple tests, and I think I'm not wrong in saying Pascal and Buatsi hasn't happened because Vado wasn't in the contract for that fight. So for me, if it wasn't in the contract for that fight, so the fight didn't happen, it's in the contract for this fight, and something's come up, and it still happened.
It's boxing slapping itself in the face, man, and this is the thing. We don't have kind of a complete governing body who can take control of these situations and manage them correctly. Look at the likes of FIFA and all the other big organizations in sports. You got the NBA, the NFL.
Yeah,
there's good structure around what happens. We don't have that in boxing, and that's one of the problems.
I mean, I'm hoping something comes out in the next 24 hours that either says, look, there has been some form of mistake or something, just because boxing doesn't need any more bad press. But ultimately, if boxing and everyone got together and said,
question for you before you go forward there. If someone come out in the next 24 hours saying there's been a mistake and that was actually that wasn't what it was, would you believe it?
It'd be hard.
Come on, you'd want to believe it.
You'd like to believe it.
I wouldn't like to believe it. I like to believe the truth, and I know the truth. The truth is the truth. It's been shown here. I would if someone come out and says, "Listen, we've generally got this wrong," I would take an awful lot of convincing to believe.
What I would say is then, in boxing right now, do you think if every commission agreed, no matter what, one rule that everyone has to have to be, I don't know, a commission is, if a fighter fails a test, that's it, you're done completely. You cannot box or do combat sports ever again. Do you think that would stop this, or do you think these little things will still happen?
This will always happen, in my opinion. Just look who's not saying anything. Not people who are probably friends with Conor Benn or in the same promotional setup and can't really say anything. I don't look at them, but I look at we look at a lot of top fighters around the world and the sailings. People probably don't know about it at the same time, but especially in America and stuff. But at the same time, when you see big people fail drug tests and people stay silent, it makes you wonder. I think a lot of top guys in the sport are doping. I think like Nate Diaz says they're all on steroids. All these fighters are on steroids. I think so. I think the same kind of thing. I think a lot of people in the sport of boxing are doping, and I think it's evident with the top names that have been caught in the past.
Yeah, it's not a good situation. Well, look, we'll move on. We'll move on from that anyway. But let's just quickly talk about you. When have you got your fight coming up? We're hearing rumours of December.
No one wants to hear about me at the minute. Let's be honest. I don't care. If anybody wants to know, I'm fighting December 10th.
Let's finish
in Belfast. But
let's finish with a positive note. You are back out December. Yeah.
Looks like December 10th in Belfast. Nothing 100% confirmed, but will be announced very soon, so it's almost confirmed, I suppose. But yeah, December in Belfast.
Happy to be back. I assume it'll be either the park or the arena. Happy to be back.
It won't be the park in the winter. But it's back in it'll be back in the SSE arena. And yes, mate, I'm delayed to be back. Delayed to be out before the end of the year and staying active. It's something that kind of hindered me before. Last year, I fought in the summer and then I didn't fight again in March. I usually fight in December and then March as well.
Yeah.
So we were aiming to do the wood fight in December and bicep and all that other stuff happened then too. So or did it, but we don't know. But anyway, we move forward and back in December, mate, and then we get a good performance in. I have a good fight, a good opponent. It'll be in very soon, and then get that out of the way, put in a solid performance, and then we move on to March time, most likely for a big title. I hope. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Hopefully, we have someone covering your fight on the 10th. I'm not sure.
Ever I told you where to go. I says go to Josh Warrington. It's a bigger fight.
Mate, you don't have to tell me which fight to choose. I'm already.
No. I want to come. I want to come to Belfast. I said, listen, Sean Hagan will be disgusted if you're not there, and Josh Warrington. I know you're a Josh fanboy, so you have to go. You have to go and see him.
Oh God, the day you two fight will be fucking hilarious. But no, I've got Leeds is fucking. It's a great card. But yeah, I think we'll probably have someone cover it though. But it'd be good. Then you're back out in March anyway, aren't you? Yeah. For a title fight potentially.
Yeah, potentially.
All right. Right. Well, look, Mick, it's been good catching up. Thanks for giving your opinions on what's going on today. I know you're not shy.
Sweet mate. Yeah, just. If everybody tries to sue me, I have no money. Don't try to sue me. But yeah, 100%.
Appreciate your time, Mick. We'll catch up again.
Yes, mate, 100%.